Hi, this is Silver Dave, and let's find out why I'm adding 20 French franc Napoleons into my stack. This coin is called the Marianne Coq, and it is a French coin. So I'm going to speak about French here. Don't be surprised, I'll put subtitles in it. Voici une Marianne Coq. Et voici mon petit déjeuner. J'ai mon croissant, j'ai mon café, je suis prêt pour la journée. So, why did I bring this coin up? Well, first of all, France is not too far away from where I live. But also there's something very interesting in Europe between the different French-speaking and sort of Latin countries, is that in the 1900s, they had the same standard for coins. There was this notion of European unity on the continent to have the same money. And why did they choose to have the same sort of, not the same currency, but the same standard for currency? Well, if you are a French merchant and you decide to go to Italy, which isn't very far away, France and Italy is maybe at the borders, it's an hour's ride away from Lyon to maybe 2 hours by train from Lyon to Milan. Back in the 1900s, by steam train, maybe 4 hours. So it's absolutely possible that people were doing business, international business across borders back then. And what's a problem with different, when you do international transactions, is you need a standard. You need to have a world reserve currency. And back then, the world reserve currency was gold. But even though you can agree on gold, you still have to agree on the amount of gold, that represents a certain denomination in your country. And the most common denomination in many French-speaking countries was a franc. And the most common denomination that they chose to represent in their bullion form was the 20 Swiss franc, or the 20 French franc in this case. So I have here the 20 French franc Marianne Coq. The Marianne Coq is a later design. It's a very, what they call, Republican design, because the older designs had, I believe, angels and kings and different religious figures, in addition to the coin back design that said French Republic. But the latest design, that is in the 1900s, of the Marianne Coq is a very they call it a Republican design, in that it represents a French Republic, because the Marianne is a symbol of the French Revolution, and the Coq is a symbol of France. So you cannot get more French than this coin. In contrast to some of the other coins that is of the same era, for example, the British sovereign, right? That is 22 carats. The Marianne Coq is not 22 carats. It's not a modern bullion coin. The modern bullion coins typically are at least 22 carats, and they are much larger and they weigh 1 ounce. These coins are much smaller. They're 5.8 ounces of fine gold, and the purity is 90%. But the reason why I stack it is because it is widely accepted at banks in Switzerland and in Europe, and different banks. I believe some banks in France would accept these in exchange to buy these back, because they are a standard, right? In Switzerland, they accept the 20 Swiss franc friendly. But they also accept the 20 French franc Napoleons, which the Marianne Coq is. It is a 20 French franc Napoleon. And it means that it is of the same liquidity for me as the 20 Swiss franc. And it is gold. And the other thing that you have to note is that on these coins, despite being old gold and semi-numismatic, these are semi-numismatic coins, there's no premium on the gold. I bought this at spot. I think I bought this when I placed the order for this when gold dipped right before the election. I think it was around, it dipped a little bit, like 1%, 2%. I paid, I think 55 per gram So in Swiss francs, so that would be a little bit less than $60 per gram for 5 grams, sub 1 ounce gold. That's very good. That's a very good price for a small denomination of gold. I paid roughly the same per gram for the sovereign, but the sovereign has more gold and is a bit more expensive. What do I think about this coin? I think I've seen that this type of coin that is fractional gold being sold not just in Europe, but also in the US. And I've seen on quite a few of the silver stacker forums, because I've also noticed that most of us silver stackers, we are very cost conscious. We don't have, the tens of thousands to splash on every single month on a 1 ounce gold coin. Silver is much more the people's money, and silver stacker are most cases normal people. But putting out $300, a little less than $400 into gold without paying a premium is a good solution for any silver stacker that wants to add some gold to their stack. And the reason why I picked this coin is because it's got a good history. It is a semi-numismatic coin. It's got 0 premiums, and it's got a cool design. And also for my stack, it's sort of a standardized coin. I don't need to worry too much about measuring different things. I like the sovereigns because they have no premium and they are of higher purity. They're 22 carats. But the thing is, when I'm trying to count how much gold I have, it's much easier for me to have the coins of the same weight, even though they are from different countries, right? That means that the Swiss 20 Swiss franc and the French 20 Swiss francs are interconvertible. And this is what the traders and the merchants in the 19th century, they were able to use this to mix coins together from different countries and still keep their checks and counts clear without having to do too much math and do too much calculations to understand how much gold was in their pockets, and they could quickly do the math. I wanted to show this coin because I'm quite excited. This is my first French gold coin and my first piece of French gold. I don't know if France produces silver bullion. I don't believe they produce any more silver bullion. I don't believe they produce any more gold coins, so they're not going to mint more of these. I do believe quite a lot of these were minted. Do I think that these are good for American stackers? If you can get these for no premiums, it's a good buy. I've also noted that there's a lot of $2.5 American Indians that are on low premiums. And I also noticed that the double eagle, the St. Gaudens $20 eagle, which is 30 grams of pure gold, is also relatively, unless you're buying the specific year, it tends to not have much of a premium either. So those are all coins that you can add. And I'm a big advocate of fractional gold, like 90% gold, because ultimately the Krugerrand is also fractional gold. It's not 4/9 pure, it's 22 carats. The Gold Eagle is also fractional. It's slightly more pure, but it's just a better, sort of a more modern weight with the same purity as a sovereign. The only real pure 4/9 gold for our Canadian friends to be considered as not taxable is Canadian silver maples and European philharmonics. But those, you tend to pay a premium on them unless you're buying the 1 ounce bars. And I think that's a bit of a scam, because gold is gold. There's no reason why this in the early 19th century was considered as money, and gold should no longer be considered as gold in certain countries and under certain tax regulations. But I digress. In Switzerland, this is considered gold. This is the advantage of being in Switzerland. As long as something's over 90% purity of gold, it can be considered as gold. And these items are still considered as gold. The friendly, if you ask people, is it a gold coin? Should it be sold as gold? They'll tell you, yes, it should be sold as gold. Anything that's 90% purity or more of gold and its main value isn't gold is gold. Otherwise, you're just talking legalese. What is the gold alloy in this coin? Well, I can show you these two coins. They reflect slightly differently, right? The friendly is slightly lighter, and I have an older Helvetia coin here that is much more lighter. Well, the old Helvetia coin is the tonality they call yellow gold. So it has a lot more silver in it than copper in the remaining 10%. I believe that the Marianne Coq has a lot more copper than the other Latin Monetary Union coins, but it is still 90% gold. The remaining amount might be, the remaining 10% is probably 90% of that 10%. So 9% of the coin is copper, or maybe even more. The Swiss renminbi, I think the remaining 10% is 8.3% is copper. So it has slightly less copper, and the rest is silver. So it's there are some differences in the tonality and coloring, but you don't have to worry about it when you buy Latin Monetary Union coins. They're always going to be of the same weight. They're always going to be 6.5 grams. Let's take this and show you how much it weighs. Plus or minus 0.1 grams. Let's see, on and 6.5. And they will always be of 6.5. They will always be of the same size, which is very, very cool. Let's see this one. 6.4, 6.5. They will always be exactly the same size, so you can stack them perfectly. And if you want to check if a coin is really from the Latin Monetary Union and you have other LMU coins, it's quite easy to check. You just need to take any other from any other country. That is a Belgian LMU coin, a Swiss LMU coin, a French LMU coin, and you just need to weigh it, and then you're like, okay, that's the right amount. And then you just need to compare it to your other coins, and then you can see clearly that it is exactly the same in width and dimensions, and you're pretty much sure that it is an LMU coin and it is a gold coin and it is real. So that is how you can check whether it is a real LMU coin. These coins are still at low premiums. I think they're just not popular. That's why they're not shooting up in value for many investors. They're not considering these. I don't know why. Partially because there is no marketing around these. Mints are not making money, so there's no marketing material being printed out for these coins. And these semi-numismatic coins, which have a lot of history behind it, you know, there's nothing, they're cheap. They're really, really cheap. And I think if you have the money, it's both cheap in absolute value. It's also cheap in the premium terms. It's cheap to be able to buy gold under $500 in more than 5 grams of gold. To pay less than $500 and to pay no premium is very, very, very cheap. And that's why I like this coin. Do I think it's worth a buy? I think it's absolutely worth a buy. I think if you have the spare cash to buy some of this coin, you know, do it. Now, what else should I do during this video? Well, I'm going to hold this coin and drink some coffee because my coffee's getting cold and I want some. Something I haven't talked about is how you can actually get 1 ounce of gold out of LMUs and maybe sovereigns, which also have no what do I call it? No numismatic cost. So let me show you the combination. To get roughly 1 ounce of gold, let me refocus, you can combine three of these LMU coins and 2 sovereigns, and that will make you 32 grams of gold. And if you have 4 more of these, you will get not close to 2 ounces. But if you have 4 more of these LMU coins, right, and you add 1 sovereign to those, this is actually 30 grams, and this is 32. If you have 3 sovereigns, I only have 2 sovereigns, 3 sovereigns plus 7 of these LMU coins, it makes 2 ounces, 2 ounces of fine gold. It will be more in terms of weight than 2 ounces, obviously, but the math, you can do the math. I'll show the math formula up. It is a little bit more, just a tiny bit more than 2 ounces. And that's how you can, if you want to stack in ounces and you want to stack in like nice ounce boxes, you can stack your 7 LMU coins together and then stack next to this 3 sovereigns, which make up 10 coins, which is quite a round number for 2 ounces. That's what I found out, and that's what probably I will be doing in my for my stacks. I have 9 of these coins, so I have 9 LMU coins, and most likely I will buy enough to get 3 ounces of gold before the end of the year. So, and specifically in this format because there is no premium and I don't have to buy it all at once. And like I always say, don't overstretch your finances to get silver or gold. This episode is mainly about gold, but don't overstretch your finances to get gold or silver. Always just buy it bit by bit. When I bought the different pieces, okay, these I think I paid in the 330 Swiss franc range, and this one I paid a little bit more. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, it seems like a decent price, 350 Swiss francs for this one. This one I paid 325 Swiss francs when the gold corrected. So obviously gold varies less than silver, but if you're able to spread out your total amount of gold you're buying over the course of 4 weeks, over the course of a year, and in small fractional units, and you're not paying a premium, that is the best way to do it. That is the best way to get yourself into buying gold, in a very regular manner, and to protect your wealth in a savings account, and to add this to your silver stack. If you ask me, some silver stackers don't like gold. They're like, yeah, silver's got more potential. Yeah, but I'm not a speculator. I think silver could have more potential. I don't disagree with them. I just believe that, I want to treat how I stack as saving money. And the best way to save money is also to not buy all into the same thing. You buy different currencies. If you're going to really want to save money, you'll have some money in dollars, some money in, if you're saving in cash, let's say, you'll have some in dollars, some in Canadian dollars, some in Swiss francs, some in other currencies. That in Chinese yuan, if you have access to Chinese yuan, buy some Chinese yuan too. It's a good idea to split your fiat currencies too. If you have a significant amount of fiat currencies, if you have more than, let's say, 100,000 in fiat currency, it's a good idea to split it into different nations, because you don't know if the nation in which your currency is denominated in is going to remain stable. So you're going to hold a basket of currencies. That's the way to do it. That's what most central banks do. That's what most banks do that too. They hold a basket of different currencies. And they hold assets because assets appreciate. Gold is an asset. Gold is a monetary asset that is a supranational currency. I did a video on that explaining how gold and silver are supranational currencies. This is the oldest supranational currency. Gold is 100% fungible. It offers 100% spending privacy. I mean, the bit of the ugly side of gold is that, this is a French coin, so France had colonies all across the world, like Congo, and they exploited people across the world for their gold. There's not so many gold mines in France. So obviously, this isn't clean gold. But if you take this to the bank, they'll still treat it as gold. And when they were doing trade with it, people still treat it as gold. So obviously it is 100% fungible, irrespective of the source and whose hands this went through. Europe went through a Second World War, and I'm sure during the Second World War, a lot of these gold coins, they were used to pay for different things. They could be used to bribe officials so that you could pass a checkpoint. They were probably, some of the Swiss gold might have had especially the older ones. I don't like the older ones, but Nazi Germany sent a lot of gold into Switzerland to be melted, so you potentially could have some Nazi gold in your Swiss gold. Or even like gold was remelted and you have modern gold, which has, because most gold is not thrown away, gold is kept and recycled. So most modern gold probably has a few atoms of Nazi gold in it. So but the fact is, one atom of gold remains one atom of gold, and it's indistinguishable from the next. It's completely untraceable, which is both a good thing and somewhat ethically poses a problem for some people. But if you're thinking about saving money and finances, it is the ultimate weapon, being fungible, being 100% fungible. So that was what I want to talk about today, and let me know how you buy gold, what type of gold you like to add to your silver stack. I mainly stack silver. Like I said, when I did the count, I had hundreds of ounces of silver, and I barely have 2 ounces of gold. I have a little bit more than 2 ounces of gold and 1 ounce of platinum. I think it's great to diversify and add a little bit to your stack. What do you think? How do you add gold to your stack? Because I've seen quite a few sort of silver stackers add a little bit, like 1/4 ounce silver eagles, 1/4 ounce maples, and so on. But I don't see many people talking about really stacking fractional gold as their solution to buying low premium gold. I think one of the main reasons for a lot of my viewers in the United States is that there's tax applied to this type of item, while I am not taxed on these type of items. And I think that's maybe one reason why I'm going for these, and I can go for these fractional pieces. But if you think about it, 7% tax, even on a 0 premium 20 Swiss franc or a old gold eagle at, let's say the gold eagle, the $2.5 gold Indian at $2.5 is, I've seen on the forums, people are saying that it's around $230 and $240, somewhere around there, depending on your coin shop. I think that's a good price. That's a great price for fractional gold. Even if tax is in the $250, it's still cheaper than the premium you pay on a 1/4 ounce piece of gold. Of course, you might have to pay tax when you sell, but being taxed when you sell and having paid not so much is still better than paying that premium and never reaching that premium or breaking that premium when you sell. So capital gains only happens if you're making a profit. That's what I'm saying. If you're not making a profit, you're not going to lose a lot. So if it's cheaper and you're paying less of a premium, even with tax added, I think it's okay and good to consider adding some of this fractional gold to your stack. Another reason, a bit of a speculative reason why I'm adding fractional gold is I think these are really, really cheap for what they are. And there's no coin collecting, it's not the most popular hobby out there. And the fact that I can get semi-numismatic precious metal coins at 0 premium is amazing. They're not making any more of these. And these are definitely going to become, I think in maybe like, by the time I retire in 50 years, it's going to be, I'm gonna retire a bit earlier, probably like in 30, 35, 40 years. These are going to become collectibles. And that will be a very interesting point, whether the gold value will be worth more than, what will gain more, whether the gold value will gain more in 25 years or the numismatic value of these coins will gain more in 25 years. That's another question you have to ask yourself, right? If you buy a modern gold eagle, you're almost sure that for the next 150 years, there's no numismatic value on a modern gold eagle. Do I think there's a numismatic value on modern coins? Very unlikely. Even modern Krugerrands, they don't have numismatic value. They are purely used as gold bullion and gold coins for individuals. So that's what I wanted to say today. Now I'm going to get back to breakfast, eat my croissant et mon café. Je vais prendre un peu de croissant et de café avec ma Marianne Coq. Voilà. Et thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Write a comment below. Tell me how you add gold to your silver stack. and share your knowledge. You know, I don't have the answers to everything. Things are different for everybody, and like the video helps me out a lot. Click the subscribe button, the bell notification button. I have daily content coming out. Thank you for watching. This is Dave.